Hello, Average Don here, coming at you with another video of what I have read this week. I have read 10 comics this week. I know I posted that I read 8, but there's been a lot of issues. There was a lot of technical issues and all that other crap. Basically, I made a mistake in counting or whatever. I don't know. I read 10. I'm pretty sure. You can count them in this video if you want, but what did I read this week? Alright, so I read Bigfoot Frankenstein, number 5. This was recently released. This was released in 2022 by Action Lab Comics. Next, we have Han Solo and Chewbacca, number 1. This was also recently released in 2022 by Marvel. And next up, we have Captain Carter number 1. This is another recently released one, 2002, again by Marvel. Now we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the High School Years, Free Comic Book Day. It's released in 2017 by Dark Horse and includes a little story in it too, Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah, that's all it's called, Plants vs. Zombies. Next up, I have my phone on the side. Next up, you have Bebop and Rocksteady. Hit the road. Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road. Or more commonly known as TMNT, Bebop and Rocksteady hit the road. Number 5. This was released in 2018 by IDW. Next we have OMAC number 1. This was released in 2006 by DC. Now, and then we have Watchmen number 1. This one was released in 2019 by DC. This is the snippets of the original graphic novel, which I also have. Next up, we have Caspers Spookysville. This is also released on Free Comic Book Day by American Mythology. It was released Free Comic Book Day in 2019. This contains a lot of small stories about Casper and his friends. Now next up, we have Miraculous, number 1. It's released in 2015 by Action Lab Comics. And last, but certainly not least, we got Martian Manhunter, number 1. This was released by DC in 2019. So, alright, so what about these comics? Give you short stuff about all of them. Bigfoot Frankenstein, number 5. This was written by Mike Bartolini and arted by Vernon Smith, colored by Kai Tang. And it's also known as a history of Batman, so it's the big end fight. On one side you have Jude, Frank, and Belinda. Jude is the creator of Frank. Frank is the big monster. And Belinda is the bride of Frankenstein, if you know the things. And on the other side of the battle is Dwight and Sasha, who are all hyped up on Bigfoot blood, which has a lot of healing capabilities, a lot of superpower capabilities in fact. So, He wins. He wins. They're all, Frank and them, they want to defeat Sasha and Dwight because, Sasha and Dwight, they killed the Bigfeet because of something that they did to Dwight's dad earlier in his childhood. So who wins? Who knows? It is the epic conclusion, though. It is. So, in this one's Han, Solo, and Chewbacca. Number one, the movies might be crap now, but the shows and the comics are really what's keeping this series alive, and they're good. They're thriving. So this is written by Mark Guggenheim, and the art by David Messina. So basically, Han and Chewbacca, they're doing a job on this. They're doing a heist job on the casino planet of Galactor 3. Galactor 3. Here, I'll just hold this right here. Doing a job on Galactor 3. And they're doing a heist. And they get the money, and they're like, we'll just ride without the crew. That's okay. And they go, but then the crew catches up in time, and Caltana is very mad. But they get back. They get back to Jabba the Hutt all in one piece. And Caltana tells Jabba the Hutt, but Jabba the Hutt lets it slide because he has another job for Han Solo already. He wants him to get him an urn that contains the ashes of Cristal de Norum, a hated rival of Jabba's. Han agrees, of course, to the tune of 1 million credits, but Jabba has one condition. He has to work with Greedo. So they'll go to Tatooine and break into someone's house and steal the urn and break open a tough safe with a turbo laser to get it. And Caltana places a hit on Han. Han runs into his dad, Oban. Next up, Captain Carter, number 1. Made by Marvel, written by Jamie McColleys, and arted by Marika Cresta. And I apologize if I mispronounce any of those names. I also apologize if you can't really hear because I'm talking behind the comic. I apologize. Let's set in another universe. Basically, Captain Carter, the introduction of Steve Rogers in the universe, or Captain America. Same thing happens to her, except, Peggy Carter gets the super soldier serum and crashes in the Arctic Sea. And instead of it going one way, we get to see the negotiations of the US, Russia, and Britain against who she's going home with. And she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go home. We're gonna go to Great Britain. And she tries to adjust and live in silence for at least a little bit, live in peace, whatever, try to catch up. And all of a sudden the world figures out pretty fast that she is the one and only Captain Carter. Yeah, she's the one and only Captain Carter. Hydra still exists. All problems still exist. Everything that's supposed to have disappeared still exists. Alright. Now we got Buffy the Vampire Slayer at the High School Years, the Free Comic Book Day by Dark Horse. It's written by Kel McDonald and arted by Yishan Lee. in the story is otherwise known as No Need to Fear the Slayers here. So the simple stories that I think it demote to the story or whatever. But basically, like, Buffy just fights two guys in the graveyard, kills one, the other one gets away, goes to the comic book shop, and of course, Buffy somehow ends up meeting him the next day, shopping for a comic, prevents his girl from getting killed. And it's all fun stuff. It's all good. And of course, Buffy's just like, what comic book could I read? And this dude that she's with recommends X-Men to Shadowcat. And the little girl wants to buy a Sailor Moon book. So that's fun. This also includes another short story of Plants vs. Zombies that was written by Paul Tobin and arted by Robert Downey. Alrighty. So this time we got Bebop and Rocksteady. Number 5 is by IDW. It's written by Penn Bates, arted by Dustin Weaver. This one, they're so close to the original goal. The original goal was to come back to New York City. They basically did a cross-country trip from Mexico in a car. They're so close to the line. Of course, Agent Ravenwood and the Protectors of Earth Protection Agency, they want them to stop because they know that it's going to cause a lot of chaos, destruction. They just want them to stop. They almost get them at the finish line. They almost do. The question is, do they make it to New York City? Next, we have OMAC number 1 by DC. Now I don't have these parts written, so I'm just not going to say the artist and all that stuff because that might be wrong. But so the Brother Eye program that Batman made to spy on all the superheroes in the Justice League just in case they ever turn on him and he has information on how to take him down. Brother Eye, which was supposed to be destroyed, lives and is tracking down the last OMAC unit in a suitable human. And a suitable human to don on the powers of the OMAC. So, Brother Eye goes scanning around Gotham. He scans a couple people, he finds one. And then he totally just takes him over. And then eventually he gets the eye of Firestorm, who was looking for Professor Stein. So those of you who know the Flash show, who have watched The Flash on CW, will recognize this. But if they don't know where, we'll recognize Martin Stein, we'll recognize Firestorm. And the big fight is a small fight. Who knows? OMAC number 1, 2006. Now, next up is The Watchmen. Something that I didn't write, but it's neither here nor there. But basically, it's just kind of like a short cut-up retelling of the original graphic novel. Like I said, original done by Alan Moore. And basically, you got Rorschach investigating, trying to find out who killed this person. and the person who killed him is the comedian. We all know this. But he's trying to get away or something. He's trying to basically seem like it's not him. What can I say? I don't know. But it is a good novel despite how I'm not selling it. A good novel, good comic book. I have the actual graphic novel. I'll read it someday. Next we have Caspers Spookysville, done in 2019 on Free Comic Book Day by American Mythology. This is done. It just has a bunch of side stories. Little side stories of Casper and friends. Basically, how one of his friends is seeming like he's tormenting him because he's lost his girl Pearl because of a fight or because of an argument, but he always comes back. So. Alright, next up we have Miraculous #1. It's by IDW. Now I've never seen the Disney Plus show and the show on Disney. They do exist. The show is on Disney Plus. But from what I've read so far, it seems great. It seems yeah, great, good, yeah. But this little girl called Morelli Cacat is in a competition, and the competition be the next Weather Girl. And the competition, she's in Final 2 with Aurora Be Real. Yeah, this is the kids show. I'm 27 with a beard right now, so I do not watch this stuff. But, yeah, Aurora becomes jealous that Morel wins, and she gets infected with dark stuff. She becomes stormy weather, and she wants to inflict pain or whatever on Morel, but Morel is a ladybug. Or can transform into a ladybug, whatever. And they fight or whatever, I don't know. But it's called Miraculous. It's a show on Disney Plus, so if you have Disney Plus and are somehow not convinced by my beautiful charm, then I would suggest watching it. It can do far better at selling it than I can. And last but not least, you have Martian Manhunter #1 by DC, made in 2019. This explains the origin of, well, not the origin of John Johns, but it says basically that John Johns been hiding on Earth. He's a homicide detective on Earth, and none of the stuff gets revealed until he comes into contact with the foam gas, or yeah, I think it's fear foam, which just reminds him or sends him spiraling and thinking about his home planet Mars and the decisions that he's made, the decisions of him leading to coming to Earth. And that's it. If you read any of these stories, what's your favorite thing to read? Even if you didn't read any of these stories, was there a favorite thing you read this week? Post any in the comments. I definitely like Bigfoot Frankenstein. I think that's my favorite. It's of course epic conclusion. It's hard to beat conclusions, but I have to say it's my favorite. And all along was my favorite. It's funny and simple. Funny, simple, like easy to grasp, like you know why you're laughing and all that stuff. And it's also, it's simple. It takes from like the monster movie formula and kind of like works with it. Like, you know, I just suggest reading it. It's good. It's good. It's good. But like I said, what was your favorite thing to read? You can follow me on my Facebook at Average John. Let me start over. Follow me on Instagram at TRIPL3XXX Mayhem. Follow me on Twitter at Real Average John. Follow me on Facebook at Official Average John. You can follow me on Likewise as well. That's at Average John, no capitalizations or anything. And that is just an app where you can track what movies you want to watch. Makes it easier to plan. You can follow me on Goodreads too. That's just at Johnny Nigh. That's JOHNNY space NIGH. And that's basically not like Likewise, except instead of movies and shows, it's books. And don't worry if you can't understand me. I have everything down in the description down below. So, and I hope to see you guys in 2 Saturdays, or maybe next Saturday, I don't know. And hopefully I'll be more prepared next time.